Hey, how's it going, Pirates? I'm so glad you guys could make it. We have an awesome Creators Corner for you. It's a special show. As you guys know, it's not Wednesday, but we're still ready to go and have a great show. So I can't wait to bring on our next guest. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I really enjoy watching. He's actually influenced a lot of my collection. So without further ado, let's bring him out. Skellywagstv! How's it going, my friend?
Hey, you Skellywagstv!
Oh man, I really was hoping to see that guy, and I'm so glad he made it. So thank you so much for doing the show today,
It's
and I'm
alright, man. My
so
pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
so
First stream
appreciative.
combo,
I'm sure it won't be your
team up
last.
thing
Now
I've done.
you're gonna blow up, and you're gonna be doing live streams all the time now. I have no doubt of that. So I'm really excited for that, and you know what? I was going to see who was in the chat, but you know what? We're gonna make it like the chat's not even here.
Hmm.
I'll check periodically, only because my vision's not the greatest. So I normally have a co-host
Mm.
who would go through the comments and that kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
So I will check periodically to see who's here. Oh, I do see that we do have a few. Actually, you know what? With the people that are here, let's start because I know there's some people on your neck of the woods. Like
Right.
for example, we have the first person here who's always here is Bjorn. How's it going, Bjorn? Thank you so much for showing up.
Yawn.
He's
Brilliant,
always
man.
on time. He's always ahead of time, and he's always here. So I do appreciate you for being here. Another great supporter is Mr. Ian Sweeney. He's in your neck of the
Bonjour.
woods.
Oh, yeah?
He's out in Europe, so he's out in England. So that's awesome. Glad you can make it. The guy is always here, and I always appreciate your support. So thank you so much, my friend. And then we have another regular that we don't always see, but when we do, we're so happy that he's here. So Task Force Figures and Games, thank you so much for showing up, brother. And I do appreciate you for being here. We also have, oh yes, without a doubt, Mr. CB671 is here. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen you before, but I'm glad you're here and I appreciate that. And normally, this man is my co host, Mr. Rad Toys Galaxy. Thank you so much for being here, brother. I'm so glad you were able to
What's
make it. So, we're going to have obviously other people trickling in as we go along. But yeah, I'm so excited for this. I've been waiting for the last 2 weeks. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to do this last week, but we're
Yeah,
here
that's
now.
alright. Yeah, we're here now.
So that's all that matters. And so yeah, I wanted to ask you. So how did this all start out? How did you get into this?
So,
Actually,
COVID, I think.
before you do that, how about
Yeah.
we actually let people know who you are, and then
Yeah.
we can dive into how you got started.
Hello, I'm Skellywagstv. On YouTube and Instagram, and yeah, just have a channel about 118 scale toys, really. That's
Awesome.
about it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But
I started off on Instagram actually.
right.
Firstly, this was like I think 2019,
Hmm.
and it was like I'd stopped collecting for a while, and
Right.
I'd got this figure Knight of Asperity, which is the head of this guy, but with a different body.
Yes, I have
Some
that
people might
one.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant
Boss
figure.
fight. Yep.
Right. And so my first kind of pictures on Instagram were literally about him and kind of him in little kind of scenarios and things like that.
Right.
And that was kind of just I didn't tell anyone about it. I kind of just thought, you know what, I want to do this and kind of see how the community is, see how it builds.
Right.
And then it kind of like trickled off because I met my wife at work.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so that kind of like everything spiraled out of control. I wasn't doing anything. When
Mhm.
COVID hit, we had a baby. And then my
Wow.
wife was just like, one day she was just like, well, you don't do any collecting anymore. You don't do anything creative anymore. I used to do a lot of art and
Right.
that sort of thing. And then I was just like, oh, yeah, you're right. And then one day I just sort of decided to get a Gundam
Right.
thing, you know, one of those
Model
kits.
kits. Yeah.
Yeah. And that kind of kicked off this kind of need to want to do something more creative. And then
Right.
I remember watching a video of, I think it's Mecha Guy Kotsu.
Right.
He does like all this like Gundam stuff online.
Yeah.
And he I watched a load of his videos and got a load of
Mhm.
Gundam kits. But then he randomly had this video about this mecha, and it was a
Right.
Joy Toy mecha. But it was 1/25th scale, and I was like, oh, that looks freaking cool.
Yeah.
And so I went into that rabbit hole, and then I found Awesome Action Toys.
Yes.
And I was like, he's a Brit like me, and he's like older like me.
But he's actually not in Europe though, right?
No, he's not. Yeah, I didn't know that.
He's in
but he had all
Asia,
this cool
right?
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
he actually lives in China.
Yeah, he
And
was
then I
one of
was
the
like,
first people I started watching as
yeah,
well.
right. Because when you go into that kind of rabbit hole, he's like very prominent in that
Yes.
space because he has all these like Acid Rain, of course, and the
Yep.
Joy Toys stuff. And so I just started going into this and watching all these videos. And then I bought my first Joy. Yeah, actually, I've got him right here. I've had to customize him a bit because his legs broke. But this guy was my first Joy Toy
Oh
figure.
wow, I remember that guy.
Yeah, the Hell's Fifth. I've
Yep,
had to
I remember
customize his leg
that.
because they broke, and I kind of put a few other bits to them. But after I bought this, I was just like, you know what?
Nice.
Not enough people are know what Joy Toy do, and I've got to show these figures as well. And
Mhm.
watching like Adam do it, I was like, yeah, if a Brit, that age can do it, I'm pretty sure I can add something to the mix as well and
Nice.
help, spread the word about Joy Toy and
Exactly.
all these freaking cool figures. But this was really kind of the start, and from there it was, because very early on, like not so much now.
Right.
I was doing a lot of sort of world building and kind
Mhm.
of was working towards stories. And if you check some of my older videos, there's
Oh, I
maybe
know.
one or two, yeah, where
I've
like,
seen them.
yeah, right, because you were yeah you joined at that time where I was
Yep.
doing more sort of creative
See,
stuff,
and that's why
more
I remember you were
custom stuff.
saying back, not necessarily backstage, but when we talked before, you're saying, "Oh, I don't know if I really fit into your type of videos." It's like
Yeah,
you fit right in, man. You're a collector. You're a world builder. You customize stuff.
well, it's only
So
kind
yeah,
of
you fit
because of
right
the
in.
recent stuff, like because I've not
Yeah.
really had the time with 3 kids,
Oh yeah,
five and under.
understandable.
It's like not really having the time to do like any of that creative stuff
Right.
I used to do. But I mean, at some point, I would like to carry on doing that sort of thing.
Well,
Um,
all in due time, once your kids get older and
yeah. Oh
you get
God, yeah.
tired of just doing reviews, you might want to dive back into that kind
Yeah.
of
Every
stuff,
now and then,
right?
I
So,
kind of, get back. It's just, the time, with work and stuff. You just wish you can
oh,
do this
exactly.
stuff all the time.
But yeah,
Alas,
you see,
not
you
the
not
case.
only influenced me, you've influenced other people like CB671. He was you were like one of the first people he started watching. So
Oh, awesome.
there you go. So you've inspired other people to get it back into collecting and stuff like that, right? So that's awesome.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, definitely. Because it's like it can't. Because especially with like myself, like before I met my wife, I was like, the work environment, and especially in the UK at work,
hmm
there's the sort of going to the pub basically after work and
yeah,
doing that sort of stuff
the
and
grown up stuff.
yeah, but after a while it just gets like, oh, what are we doing? Let's just spend
Well,
it all
that's the
this
thing.
money.
After you get to a certain age, it's like, okay, I'm tired of doing this pub stuff
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all
and I was
that.
already like old enough at the time to be, I mean, too old to be doing that sort of stuff anyway when I was doing it on
I
a
kind
younger
of
age,
wanted to
but
stay home now and chill with the kids and the
yeah,
family and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
obviously, you got to keep her because of the fact that she actually was the one that kind of
got
pushed you back
prompted me.
towards your art. So that's actually really
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
oh yeah, so like when you were talking about Joy Toy and that rabbit hole,
Yeah,
Rad mentions Rad Toys Galaxy. He's mentioning that yeah, that's a rabbit hole he fell down in. Especially him,
yeah,
it's been more recently because I know
right.
he collects everything. So and once he dove into Joy Toy, he really dove in, and he's
Yeah,
really been getting into it. And yeah, so the most of the community that follow like stuff that I watch or Rad Toys, we tend to be more like world builders. He calls them we there's a term we use called station people. People build their own space
right. Yeah, yeah.
stations and stuff like that. So yeah, it's an incredible community. The 118 scale community I find has been a very warm. They're not too many. There's not too many gatekeepers like with I find
Mm,
with 112
yeah.
collectors. I find they're really big time gatekeepers. Like oh, you can't mix that IP with that IP and all that kind of
Some Warhammer
nonsense.
fans can be like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And yeah, it's just insane. But I kind of want to dive into some of that customization. I have, well, you already kind of did show one of your figures, which was Skelly,
Hmm.
that guy. So I'm gonna bring up some of your stuff here. So here's Skelly. So for those
Yeah.
of you guys who don't know, one of the things I do enjoy is that you created a character for your show, and that
Hmm.
essentially is like your persona, right,
Yeah,
online.
correct. Like kind of offbeat version of myself who's a bit more, out there, I suppose. But originally he was going to have his normal Night of Asperity, setup, but
Right.
the original one I had like fell off my shelf or something like that, and the leg broke, and I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, I
And then
found that
so I thought,
sometimes those figures
yeah,
back then were pretty fragile. Like they would just
Mm.
you just drop them and that a leg would
And
pop
then the
off
leg,
or an arm
yeah.
would snap off and it's just craziness like that. But yeah, I really do enjoy that character. And whenever I don't see him in a video, I'm like, where is he? He needs to be here. It's like part
Yeah,
of their
a
whole
lot of
persona.
the early, a lot of the earlier like fans kind of know Skelly and kind of wish he was in more videos, which I wish I could do. If I had the time, I definitely would incorporate him more. But then it's just crunch down with the time and like getting the
Right.
videos to a certain length and all sorts you got to start
Exactly.
thinking about when kind of doing YouTube videos and
And I
it's
do
just
know that one of the things you do also do, because like you said, you start out with Instagram. One of the
mm,
things that I noticed is that you do like simple photography, but it's really like kind of like storytelling photography. Some of your pictures,
yeah. So I'm limited in space
right?
and
Oh,
what
I
I
know
can
that.
achieve with diorama. I wish I could have dioramas and all this
Hmm.
stuff, and so I have to work with this literally small space
Right.
and try and make it so that it doesn't look like it's on a desk.
Right.
You know,
Cause yeah,
so
cause I noticed you do like a smoky background and that
that's
kind of
right. Yeah,
stuff,
yeah. Because
and you just make it
I've stopped
simple, but it
smoking
works.
and I vape now. So this little thing I use to for the smoke effects.
Nice. But actually, yeah, I'm getting people that are saying you should get into Figtober. So Figtober is
Mm,
in the month of October.
yeah.
Instead of like you know, I can't remember I can't remember what it is, but I think Inktober I think is what they normally call it. But
Mm,
Figtober is just pictures of figures for the
mm,
month of October. So maybe this
right.
October, if you get some free time, you can join that. So that's something that goes on online. You could check out the
Okay.
hashtag when you get a chance on Instagram, and you can definitely consider
Fictober.
joining that because it's really good. And also, before we go on, let me just switch this off for a second here. This figure, I
Mm.
ended up getting this guy because of you.
Oh, yeah. I
Because
do
of
like
you, I
that.
ended up getting this guy.
I've got that guy, yeah, the blue wolf guy.
And then I fell down that rabbit hole. I started buying all the that faction.
Oh, mate.
They're
Well, I'm going to
so
get more of
awesome.
those. Yeah,
They're
I
amazing.
love this guy's my favorite. This dude. Oh, I
Yes,
just love the
I
way he
have.
poses and plays, and I
Yeah,
want
I
to get the
have
other
them
guy
right
with the
behind me.
helmet. Get a couple of them, I think.
I painted mine,
Yeah, I saw that.
so
I saw that. Yeah,
mine's got a green head because I actually
got
I'm
that kind of
creating a backstory for him.
right. Yeah, yeah.
He's Kang the Conqueror, so he's Ming
Ah,
the Merciless's son.
right,
And then
right.
I created another one called Princess Aura, which is Ming's daughter. And where is she? I think her head fell off. But yeah, she's I used the Gomorrah head,
Nice.
and I just painted the hair.
From which Gamora? From the
This is
what's
from
it
the
called?
Marvel
Marvel ones.
universe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so the one that she's wearing the white, black, and red armor.
Hmm.
So I took the
Still
head
got a
off of
few of
that.
those.
Yeah, I have two of those. I painted one and sent one over to one of my friends, Starboy,
Hmm.
and kept the other one for myself. But one of the other things that I was really excited about doing is this custom. It's a very simple custom,
Simple, yeah. Just removing stuff and then
but
changing the head.
and changing the head. But I'm like, I so want this. I just actually ordered that guy just
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
I can do this because
Oh, the
this
what's his face? The Padre guy.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Padre guy exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, but this line of Joy Toys is my
Oh, I
favorite. So
love it.
the Corvus
Yeah.
Belly Infinity line
The
is my
female
favorite.
figure,
Yes,
the
she's
female figure on the
amazing.
left, like she's low key one of the best figures of that year.
Yes,
Female
I
figures.
definitely agree with that. I got two of her because I
Yeah,
loved her so much. I got two of the both of those in the back characters. I got two of those because I love them so much. Right,
yeah.
they're so
Pretty good.
great. But I know your favorite line is the Warhammer line. I know
One of my
you're
favorites, I would
well, one of
say
your
they're up there
main
with
ones.
Acid Rain and
Yeah, I
and
know
Infinity
that.
stuff as well,
I'm
which
gonna get
unfortunately
into the
I
Acid
hear it's
Rain
not going
too
on
because
anymore.
I know you
Yeah.
love Acid Rain as well. Acid Rain Annex 21 as well.
Mm,
2179. Yeah, I know you love
yeah.
that
Brilliant
line
lines.
as well. But yeah, like what really gets you into the Warhammer? What is it like? Do you follow? Do you
So
play the tabletop as well,
no,
or
not at all. So in the UK, like Warhammer is like the Games Work. There's you find a Games Workshop in sort of every few towns or so.
right?
And when I was growing up, it was one of those things that was kind of always, far away from me. I couldn't really sort of get into it. It felt like it was because I didn't grow up, with a lot of money, from a
Yeah,
working
I
class
hear
family, and we couldn't. Yeah,
that.
yeah. I couldn't buy these miniatures and stuff, so I
Mm-hmm.
kind of looked on from afar,
Right.
and I'd always kind of wanted to get into it. I'd never kind of really gotten into the lore. And then when Joytoy announced they were doing the figures, I was like, oh, brilliant! This is
Right.
exactly the scale I want them in. And
Nice.
they're by Joytoy of all companies that did them.
I
So
know, right? They're the best
yeah,
company for that.
exactly. So I thought, you know what, this is the time. And then from there, like just getting into it and the lore, there were just people just commenting saying you should read the lore, do this, and then so I really got into the lore from there as well. And it's just been a
Right.
huge rabbit hole where I just like even this. Look, my wife got this for me for Christmas,
Oop,
and it's a
hold on.
brilliant little book,
That's
and about
oh,
the ultimate
nice.
guide
That's
for the
awesome,
miniatures, and
man.
a lot of the stuff you see in here, Joy
Hmm.
to have actually turned into models, which is I'm curious as to whether maybe they used this book. And I've also got
Possibly.
this book that came in recently, Acid Rain book, which
Oh
took
my
ages
gosh.
to come in. If I'd ordered it from Pier Club, it would have come sooner, but I ordered it directly
Right.
from Kit Lau via this thingy
Oh
here.
yeah, yeah. It takes a while to get. They take a while to get
Yeah,
their stuff
it
out.
took quite a while, but yeah, this is really good as well. It's got some really cool artwork and stuff in it, and
That's awesome.
yeah, just all the kind of more recent releases, really kind of.
Cause I'm definitely not into Warhammer. I'm sure I've commented that on some of your
Yeah,
videos. I'm like, I love
there's a
the
few people.
aesthetic. I
Yeah.
love the aesthetic, but I'm not crazy about how like they're 118, but they just seem too big to me.
Well, if you think the first ones they released are big, these are even bigger. Now,
Yeah.
this is actually how they're supposed to be sized because,
Oh, okay.
yeah, because they're supposed to be 8 feet tall, right? And so when you get your normal 4 inch figure,
Oh,
this is too small. But the
that's
ones
right.
they've released recently for the Space Marine 2 license are actually the size that they should be against the normal human
Oh,
being. They should be this,
okay.
epic looking in front of
Well,
these
yeah, I
guys.
don't really know the lore, so that's why I've never really dove into that rabbit hole. I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
like the armor, and I don't know if you've seen there was a cartoon
Mm.
recently released on Amazon called
Secret level.
Secret Level,
Yep, I saw that.
and
Brilliant. Oh,
that was one of my favorite episodes. Was that
yeah.
Warhammer? It was too short for my liking, but I really enjoyed that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that kind of made me look at Warhammer a little differently.
Mm.
And I'm sure if I dove into the lore, I would actually go batshit crazy and buy everything,
Even
right?
just
So,
getting like one of these guys to go in your, universe would work
mhm.
wonders. Like this guy just walking around,
I
or
may
whoever
end up
else.
getting at least a couple of them, only so that I can have them as like background, like bodyguards or stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that,
You can
right?
make up
Because
and do whatever you want with these guys, and you
because
kind of get them
that's
in.
what I do with my lore building is I just
Hmm.
whatever IP I enjoy, I bring it into
Hmm.
my lore, but I kind of rewrite their backstories
Mm.
so that it ties in better into my story. Like for example, Ming the Merciless,
Yeah.
he doesn't have this type of mechs and stuff like that in the
Hmm.
movie or in the cartoons. But I felt, hey, you know what? Ming always has technology and science as his mainstay. So I figured,
Yeah.
hey, why not use that? Because that's my favorite looking armor, like those
Yeah.
that particular faction.
Legion. Yeah, yeah.
And because of that, I'm like, it kind of ties in with what Ming would do. And then
Hmm.
the ones that same faction, these guys, when you pointed it out, I couldn't help but think that yeah, these guys do look like robots because they
Yeah.
don't look like someone
Like the
wearing
humans
armor.
in there. Yeah.
Exactly. Like even if you look at their waist,
Hmm.
it's too small for a human
Yeah.
to fit in there unless it's like a female or a kid or something, right?
Mm.
So then I went with what you said and made them into robots as
There you
part of my
go.
story because
Yeah.
Ming the Merciless in the comic books and stuff, he has robots. So I figured, hey, why not use those as the robots? So
Yeah. So what Ming did you grow up with? I'm assuming Defenders of the Earth, was it? Or
no, the one I
no?
grew up with, because I'm a old guy. I'm sure I'm older than you. I grew up with Ming the Merciless from the movie, the
Oh
Flash
yeah, no, I
Gordon
know the
movie.
movie. Yeah, Flash.
Yeah.
Ah.
Actually, speaking of Flash, I have him too. I just recently got him. He comes with the lunchbox.
Oh right, I got the other one, the one in the vest.
Do I have? No, I don't have the one in the vest, but I have the other one where he has like a chin strap and all that stuff.
Right.
I don't have it close by, but yeah. So that was what I grew up with. Horrible movie, but still a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, I really
And
enjoyed it as a kid.
then when
That
I
part where he puts his is it Timothy? Oh no, Flash puts his
Timothy
hand inside the
Dalton.
thing. Or, yeah, yeah, the whole You know, whether they put the hand in the thing and
Oh yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yes. I always freaked out when I was a kid watching that
yeah,
part. I was
yeah.
like,
Me
"Oh,
too.
it's gonna get him! It's gonna get him!" But yeah, so this is the Ming that I got from Boss Fight,
Right.
and
Yeah.
really enjoyed that one. So that kind of helped spur the whole Ming in my world building, because I really wanted that character to be part of my world building, because he makes a pretty good bad guy. And
Yeah.
so
Definitely.
with my world building, I wanted to incorporate a lot of different bad guys. So I have one of
Right.
my Instagram pictures. I have a post where I have Ming the Merciless, Thrawn from Star Wars, Lex
Ah.
Luthor, and who was the other one? I can't. I had some other enemy person there, and
Yeah.
so it was like the meeting of the villains, and
Right.
they're plotting something. So that's
Have
kind of
you
like what I like to
considered
do.
any of the new GI Joe stuff from?
We'll get into that rabbit hole too,
Oh, like
because they're
yeah.
great. They are so good.
The thing is like I got Snake Eyes, and yeah, he was all right, but then I just didn't like how his legs were kind of move, to the they were open a bit. So when you tried posing him,
Yeah,
it just it was terrible. But this,
I haven't got him yet. I didn't get
I
him yet because I was on the fence with that one
this is
with
the
Destro.
best a higher toys figure can move from the higher toys that I've purchased, and I've just been
Hmm.
messing up. I mean, I changed him, but I kind of muted his the shine on him,
Yeah.
and I did a little darker wash because it was more of a bluish
Hmm.
there, so I changed it so it's a bit darker. But the way he moves is just brilliant. I mean, the Ben there isn't as good, but he can stand and kind of pose really nicely, almost like a 1/12 scale figure. And he's even got these little butterfly bits here. I was going to do a video on him, but I haven't done a video yet. But
Nice.
oh yeah, this guy, and
But
he's got a little
yeah, I've
briefcase
actually
too.
yeah, because because basically they seem very similar to the classified figures,
Yes,
right? And a
yes,
lot
they
of the
do indeed.
accessories they come with are similar to what the classified figures come with
They've
as
just
well. So
nicked
I
those
was so
ideas.
happy when they came out with the 118 scale, because I got Major Blood, I got
I
Lady J.
Yeah, I was gonna get Major Blood, but
He's awesome.
the head sculpt like kind of put me off a bit. But then after I opened him up, I was like, all right, well, I've got to get Major Blood now,
You
even though
have to
his
now,
face looks a
yeah.
bit silly.
It actually
Um,
doesn't look that
the
bad.
note, yeah,
Like when you
okay,
see it
okay,
in person, because I'm the same way. Like I wasn't crazy
yeah.
about
Compared
some
to
of
the
the head
promo
sculpts.
pics,
Yeah,
yeah, that
but
looks a bit.
actually is when you have it in hand, it actually looks pretty good. I do want to say hi to Lockdown Productions. He's
Hey,
online. I'm sure you're familiar with him.
I
He's
am
out
indeed
in
lockdown. Hoi
he's
hoi.
out he's out in Europe as well. And then we
Yeah,
also have Mr. Lord of Thane. He's out in Germany. So we got at this time I normally get my Europeans. That's kind of why I have like the slightly earlier show, because
yeah,
I want to cater towards a lot of my European friends. That I do appreciate your support, guys. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, speaking of Haya Toys, I've
mm,
been disappointed with them with like some of their other stuff, like their
yeah,
Injustice figures. They look really nice, but
hmm,
they're not that posable. Like their arms always
yeah.
kind of stick out. You can't really put them flat to their sides. I've never liked that. And
It's like the
they're
RoboCop figure I got. I mean, that was
yeah,
good for the time. I wish
but
they could
now it's
redo
like
that. Yeah,
yeah.
and the Predator and Alien figures. I've got a load of them.
Yes, I have a
I
bunch
still
of
get them because they
Predators.
look so good,
They
but
look
they
because the
just
sculpt is awesome, but their
yeah,
articulation needs work. It
yeah, which
definitely
is what
needs
they've
work.
worked on in these, and these are definitely a step
So
up
yeah, they
from
definitely
what they've
step up.
offered
Same
before.
with the. I'm not crazy about the Star Trek. I find they're a little bit pale.
Yeah, I haven't got any of those yet. I wanted to
They're not
try one
bad.
out,
They're
but
not bad. They're pretty decent figures. But again, the problem for me, the major problem is the hands, because
oh
their
gosh,
pegging system is really stupid.
terrible.
Because like it's
Yeah,
so hard to put the hands on, and then on top of that,
and
they're
they
so
pop off all the
frail.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once they pop off, they keep popping off.
Yeah,
So
this
it's
one
a
has been
little
alright so
annoying.
far for me, but my Snake Eyes one just pops off all the time. The hand's just like uncontrollably
Yeah.
just comes off randomly.
And
But
then
this
the
is
peg
alright.
is kind of like I'm just so worried I'm gonna snap the peg off, even though it's made out of softer plastic.
Mm,
I'm always worried I'm gonna snap those pegs off. But yeah,
hmm.
it's kind of crazy. Oh, Pinker Station's here too. Welcome, buddy.
Bonjour.
I'm so happy to see all these people coming on. But yeah, it's just insane what Haya's doing. I actually even have their APC. So when they
Oh,
came out with
nice.
that
You bought
Alien,
that.
oh, I had to,
Oh,
I had to get that. When I saw that, I'm like, yes, because Aliens is one of my favorite sci-fi movies.
right,
The figures I was disappointed with because the Colonial Marines don't look like the Colonial Marines from the movie. I think
right.
those are
Yeah.
based on the video game version.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And so I don't mind some of them. Like there's some really cool ones. Like the female ones are pretty good. Like Bella is really good.
Did you
The
watch that latest one, Romulus?
yes,
It's on
yes,
Disney Plus now.
I really enjoyed that.
I
That
was
was
in the mid.
pretty
I
good.
really enjoyed what I watched, but I was so tired, like I fell asleep. So it's kind of like midway.
Yeah, definitely go
But yeah, I
back
enjoyed
and
what I saw.
rewatch that because it's really good. I enjoyed
Yeah,
that
from what I
one
saw,
because it's
I
kind of
really
like
did.
going back to like what made Aliens good,
Good. Yeah,
you
exactly.
know. So that's why I really appreciated that. But yeah, speaking about your Warhammer, like I just love
Mm,
the pictures that you've taken
Titus.
so far, and I could tell whenever you make your Warhammer videos that you really know your stuff because I can hear the excitement in your voice when you talk about your Warhammer. That's one of the things that I do appreciate about your videos too is that you actually put in the passion. You can feel the passion with what you're doing, you know,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
it's
I
really
try
good.
to kind of, do things in a way that's, like I would like to watch. I
And
present it in a way that I
that's
would
what
like to.
makes me excited for like when I purchase something. I don't like a lot of things. Like I'm very
Mm,
picky with what I do enjoy. But if somebody makes something sound awesome,
mm.
I'll probably test it out. Like that's why I've been on the fence with Warhammer. I'm not crazy about the aesthetic, but lately it's been getting better. Like for
Yeah.
example, this guy looks awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Like
chaplain.
I really love that guy.
So
Cause that
someone similar to this makes an appearance in the Space Marine 2 game, which I haven't played by the way, because I just
I
don't
haven't
have the
played
time.
that
I don't have a
either.
PS5, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't have one. I have an Xbox, but not a PS5. So. But yeah, like your pictures. This is what I'm talking about in terms of your picture. Very simple pictures, but yet they still feel like they're evoking a story. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
try
So that's
to
what I
kind of
really
create
enjoy.
a world that they inhabit, which is
Exactly.
just on my desk really, but you know.
But yeah, but no one knows that. Not by these pictures, right? So
Yeah,
like again, it's just a very simple background. The lighting's always good, but
yeah.
I just love how each picture feels like it's telling a story. And I
Mm.
just can't imagine how huge your collection must be
Oh,
for
dude.
someone who has a limited space. It seems like you have a lot of Warhammer figures. It's insane.
Yeah, well, I've got stuff on shelves, but then I've also got
Hmm.
a table which is supposed to be clear, full of other stuff, and then boxes, and then
Right.
stuff, storage stuff,
Like, look at this.
and
Look at that.
yeah, this was like the first sort of Warhammer figures that
Wow.
came out from Joy Toy.
Oh yeah, I
Cool. That was
remember
like
that. I remember the video
twenty twenty one,
when you
20.
I think it was 2021. I think
Yeah.
around there. And I
But yeah,
remember the videos when you were showing these off too. Like some
yeah,
of
that was a
those.
whole ordeal getting those. It was like they were a China exclusive, and
Yeah.
in order for us to get them in the West, there was some backdoor channel we had to go through to get them.
Right.
Luckily, there were some sellers that I was quite friendly with from AliExpress, and they kind of asked if I wanted some, and I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay,
Of
we're gonna have to do
course.
this and do that to get it. It's not gonna be a
Right.
normal way. And I was like, all right,
Yeah,
let's do
sometimes with
it.
AliExpress, well, now they're a lot more able to distribute to different countries now compared to
Mm.
before. Before they were very strict with where they were selling to,
Yeah,
but
particularly
now it's a
with
little bit
this, like
easier.
Johto were quite strict in that it wasn't supposed to be sold outside of China,
Right.
but that changed shortly after anyway, and
It's just like the
everyone started getting them.
Hayatoy GI Joes weren't really supposed to be
Yeah,
sold
right.
here.
Yeah,
I
we're not
have a
supposed to get
bunch,
these over
so
here, but
and I still have a few others on pre-order. I still have Zartan. I'm waiting for
Zartan,
Spirit.
I'm looking forward
I'm
to.
waiting for
Yeah,
Zarana, who just recently came out
some of
in
those
pre-order.
army builder ones, I'm
Yes,
looking forward to. They look really good.
I want to get. I actually pre-ordered Torpedo as well, so I'm
Nice.
excited about that. But yeah, Joy Toy. Actually, this line here, the only ones out of these characters
Mm.
that I ordered were the smallest ones with no legs. They just have the arms
Oh,
and the
the Tyranids.
tail.
Oh yeah, these things. I got one from Calcus were kind enough to send me a couple. I asked for this one because I wanted to see what it's
Hold
like.
on, let
This
me
little thing.
pull this up. Oh,
This little
okay.
thing here. So I've been
Yeah,
working
that's
on a
the one I
video of that
got.
one. Yeah, yeah. I was like
How
having a
is
load of
that
these.
though?
It's very simple. It's really tiny, but it's like I don't know. I like it. It's just and it's got this
That's why I
stand.
got it because it cut
Yeah,
to me. Like in my storyline, it's because I have the McFarlane version of the Soul. I think it's called the Soul Reaper. Is
Gene
it
Stealer.
the Gene Stealer? The
The
bigger
one with
one.
the forearms. Is it this one? Or
Yeah, 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 with the
got it close to
forearms.
me.
So the
This,
McFarlane
which I
toys
hope
had.
Joy Toy do as well. But yeah, this is a brilliant figure. I've got, I think, 3 of them somewhere. Oh, this is one of them at least. This
Yes,
thing,
yes, that guy. So I
yeah,
got
brilliant.
him, but like, they're actually supposed to be smart. But in my story, I'm
Hmm.
just making them like wild beasts kind of
Yeah, yeah,
thing. And those smaller guys, I'm gonna treat them as like just the offspring.
right,
So,
yeah,
so they grow into that
yeah.
eventually.
It's a hive mind. They're all kind of controlled by the hive
Nice.
mind, and I can, yeah,
See, now
function
you're
that
making
way.
me want to dive more into this Warhammer stories
Yeah, it's weird.
line.
I've got a load of the Tyrannus off to the side here because I was recording a video and they're just here. These things.
Nice.
This is this the warrior one's pretty cool. And then you got all these
That's
ones
the
with
one with
like
the
little
swords,
weapons
right?
and stuff. Yeah, this one is the warrior.
Yeah. Those look
These,
so awesome. I wasn't sure about them at first, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, if even if you're not into Warhammer, they just work as like aliens in in
Exactly.
your
And that's how
universe,
I see
right?
them, right?
Yeah.
So
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
definitely good for that sort of thing. I think Joytor should do more Xenos, which is like the alien races, because
Yeah.
they've got like the Eldari, which are like their the elves, the dark elves kind
Yeah.
of their story. And I
Ooh.
remember Joytor released a few years ago the Saluk
Yeah.
figures.
Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah,
those. I love
those were
those.
brilliant.
I don't
And
know why they don't go back to Battle of the Stars. I think they're slowly getting back
yeah,
into
I
it,
mean
but
they've released a few things, but it's not like it was before. Like they were kind of more sci-fi esque, like
yeah.
back then, like with the Saluk stuff, and now the Battle of the Star stuff. I mean, I like this stuff, the stuff they've been releasing, but
But
they're
it's not
more
the
sort of
same.
yeah, this stuff I like. The legs are shit, but but the the aesthetic is more sort of modern or not too far
Yeah, like
from
modern
our
military, yeah.
yeah kind of just
Which is
outside
cool,
of our
but it's
modern
not like
reality.
where they were really going. They were going more into the fantasy sci-fi,
Yeah,
which is what I
exactly.
really enjoyed at first. Because I had the Saluk White Flame. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, that's my favorite one because that female, I keep using her to make my Marshall.
Right.
Where is she? Is she up here? I think she is. Oh my god, I'm just dropping everything. Oops. Oh, I can't find her now.
And yet
But yeah,
the twins as well, right? The guys who look
yeah,
exactly
so
the
I
same.
use
The
those
red.
guys more for like spacesuits.
Mm,
But the female, I've been using her to make my cybernetic Marshall in my
mm.
story. I gave one away, so then I made another one, and it kind of upgraded the newer one that I made. And unfortunately, I can't find her now. Or is that who fell?
She's done a runner.
Yeah, I think she took off. But yeah, that's a great line. Then I also got the Red Flame one that comes with
Mm.
the dragon that transforms.
Oh, that I'd never got that one, but I'd always been interested in
I
it.
got it really cheap because AliExpress
All
had it
right.
on sale, so I got it for
They,
like 20
oh, you get some
bucks.
good deals on AliExpress. Yeah,
Sometimes, yeah, you can get some really good deals, and I actually got it for 20 bucks. But as
yeah.
soon as I got it, the leg broke off.
Oh,
So if you go and check out my videos, I actually created a speeder out of it. So I just took the legs off
okay.
completely
Yeah,
and
yeah,
made
yeah.
it into a triple changer. So it actually turns into three different types of speeders. Well, two
Awesome.
speeders really. One's like an air speeder where the wings kind of pop out. The other
Mm.
one's like a land speeder, and then the other one's like when it's landed or parked,
Right.
it kind of folds down into a parking pose. So
See,
it came
the
out
thing
really
that put me
good.
off about the because it transforms, right? And the thing that put me
Hmm.
off about that was one of the first transformable mech things they released, Johto released, was pretty bad. At
Yeah,
first, I was like, "Yeah, this is cool," but then it just didn't really work
because
properly as
kind
a
of they
transformable
kind of didn't really
thingy.
stay in position.
No, you had to take things off and put it back on and
Exactly, and that
stuff.
was
So it
kind of
wasn't really
annoying.
like actually transforming it into what it should
Exactly,
be. But it was a good effort. But
it
I
is
think it
what
could
it
definitely
is.
improve from that, learn from those mistakes. Oh, Yamato.
Yes,
Yeah, I got a load of
this is
these.
why I put this second because I at least I initially thought that Warhammer was your jam, like your
Mm.
first love, but then I started seeing more and more of your Acid Rain stuff. I'm like, I think he likes Acid Rain a little bit more. But like this is
Yeah,
like
they're
really awesome
a bit
stuff.
pricey, but
Yeah,
the
they aren't
aesthetic
cheap.
is just oh.
Like the Acid Rain, I find is better than the Annex 2179. In that the Annex
Mm.
2179, I find the limbs are a little bit long. Their feet are
Right.
huge. I still ordered a few of them. There's the more recent one. I think you already have her. She has red hair and a white streak in her hair. She's like an
Right. Oh
android, a cyborg.
The very difficult to get now. What's her face?
I
The
forget her
E11A,
name.
but the junkyard version. This one is it?
Is it? Hold on, let me just take this off.
Oh,
Yeah,
this last. Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
actually there's a newer version of that
There
where
is.
it's a
Yeah,
little less colorful. I just pre-ordered that. I ordered that
I
through.
do want to get that one as well.
That's the one
That's
I
the one
that
with the
one.
jacket, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the
Yeah.
one I pre-ordered. Then there's also another one. She has like a sci-fi type helmet. So I don't know if you're familiar with G.I. Joe, the character named Sci-Fi with the bright lime green suit. He almost looks like RoboCop.
Right. No, no, no. I'm not familiar with
Well, that figure, she has that helmet that has like the one line visor. I
that.
forget her name. I'm not really familiar with the Acid Rain or Annex 21 line of figures, but I
Yeah.
just thought she looked cool, so I had to
Oh,
get
that
her.
the one that was released with the one with the jacket. You mean?
I think yeah, I think it was released because the color scheme seems very similar.
Right.
So it might have been that. So I pre-ordered those. I'm hoping that Big Bad Toy Store won't disappoint and they'll actually get those out.
No, they get them in eventually. It just takes a lot longer for them to get anything in stock.
I don't mind because I don't have to pay up front. So that works for me.
True.
But would you say you're a completionist when it comes to like Acid Rain and stuff like
No,
that?
not at all, not at all. I just kind of get what I like, pick and choose. Unlike I know Adam from Awesome Action Tours, he was a completionist of Acid
Right.
Rain, but it just got too much, I think.
Yeah,
But no, I
they're
just
not
get like
cheap.
the factions, the
Hmm.
Yamato. I've got all of them except for I think the variants on Narien and
Right.
Mishaku. So I kind of choose which ones I want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very selective. With my, I say very selective. I've got tons of shit still, so
That's
not
like
really
me with Joy
selective.
Toy. I love Joy Toy. But yeah, like these guys look awesome. And I don't
Yeah,
I don't
the
really
right
love
one.
Acid Rain, but they look really cool.
Yeah, the one with the blue hair. She is. Not many people say this, but I think she's better than the other lady
She
on
does look
the
better in
right.
my opinion
In
too.
terms of like playability,
Yeah.
she's one of the best female figures you can get. There's no other figure in the Acid Rain line that has a build like hers.
Oh,
The
okay.
others kind of they're all similar. Like Moira is similar to the other
Right.
ones that have been released recently, but the one with the blue, Nadia, her build is different. Her legs are different,
Hmm.
similar to another really seen Raider, but they improved a few things, and
Right.
she's just such a really good figure, female figure to get the best female figure in the Acid Rain
Nice.
that I've come across. Sophie as well is one of
Yeah,
well,
Sophie's
she's an
another
older
one that
one.
I saw. But the reason
Yeah.
why I don't like Sophie as much is because her shoulders just look so wide, so broad. It just
Yeah,
to me just
it
looks
was an
so weird.
older buck that
Yeah,
they used, and it
I
was
didn't like
from
the older
the
bucks.
older one. Yeah,
Massive hands, wide shoulders, big ass feet. I couldn't unsee it. No matter
yeah,
how
yeah,
much I
yeah.
tried, I couldn't unsee that.
That changed over time, but they still kind of a lot of them still have that sort of
Yeah,
aesthetic
I don't.
to them.
It's growing on me, but for
Mm,
me, what kind of makes it hard for me is like one, trying to find them is the hard part, and then
mm.
two, trying to get them at a decent price is really tough.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
why I've been kind of standoffish. I've been
Mm.
really focusing on Joy Toy because I have an account with LT Cave, so I get a
Right, yeah.
discount every month. Plus, the more you spend, the more you get points that you can add towards your purchases, so that brings
Yeah,
down the
yeah.
price as well. So like that's why I've been all in with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So far, the only
Oh
one I
yeah, brilliant
haven't
figures.
pre-ordered yet was Master Splinter. Everything else I've pre-ordered or bought, and
Mm.
I've been in love with it. I'm not crazy about Bebop and Rocksteady's hands. They pop off
No,
so easily. But then again, all of
no,
them
no.
kind of pop off pretty easy. Like even the turtles, their
Yeah,
hands
yeah.
kind of pop off pretty easy. But I still really love those figures. They're still
I'm really
really
looking
great.
forward to Krang and Slash and the other
Yes,
guy,
I
Tripper or
pre-ordered
whatever it is.
those.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't wait for those. I think his name is like Togu or Toga or
Toka.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah. I
that.
think he was in like one of the movies, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think
Him
both
and
of them
like
were in
another
the
guy,
movies.
Razor or something.
Yeah, I think they switched the name from Slash to Razor or some kind of thing.
Mm.
But yeah, these guys look awesome. Like I love
Oh
these
yeah,
guys.
the army builder guy there, the Abaddon guy, that's like one of my favorite figures.
Yeah,
And yeah,
he really looks
Jack there with
cool.
Bernard.
Plus, anyone in black just looks cool.
Yeah,
These guys look awesome. I
yeah.
love these
So
guys.
the middle guy is that was an exclusive. When they announced it was an exclusive, I
Right.
was pretty pissed off. I was like, oh, that's such a cool
So how
figure.
the hell
Why
did you
make it an
get
exclusive?
it?
Luckily enough, someone from the community
Hmm.
actually reached out and managed to get it from Comic Con. So
What?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was lucky enough
See,
to
that's how
see.
you know you've made it when people are reaching out to you, offering you to get stuff like that
Yeah,
for
he's
you.
he's a
Like this guy's
subscriber, and
awesome.
we chatted for a while. But
Hmm.
yeah, the other two beside the one in the previous picture were
Yeah.
actually customs I made before I actually got the figure, because I
See,
was
look
like,
at you.
I can actually make
I
that
told you,
figure, I think.
you're a customizer. You fit right in, man. You're right into this community, man. Yeah, those look really cool too. The guy in the middle, of course, is the best one, all because he's the
Yeah,
original,
that's
right?
the
But I
bike, yeah,
could
and
see
the
why they made him an exclusive, only because he's that cool.
mm.
And they probably just wanted to make a limited run on those, right?
Yeah,
Make
although
more
really
money
thinking
that
about
way.
it, all the acid rain figures are kind of limited anyway. Really,
That's
when you think
true,
about it,
yeah.
as soon as like the first run goes, they're so
That's
difficult
it.
to
You gotta
get.
wait for years before they come out with another run, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, really cool looking guys. I love that bike. I've been trying so hard to find those bikes; they're impossible to find.
Oh, the Bar Guest.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, yeah, I love that bike.
like now they're so expensive to get.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look and see. I wasn't aware that they were sold out. I thought Pia still had some, but
I have to double check Pia, but yeah, they are tough to find. And the reason why I love that bike because it reminds me of the Akira bike.
yes,
That's why.
the
That's why I
exact
love that
same
thing. I just
reason
want to
why I
put. I
like
just
it.
want to put stickers on it and just make it another form of an
Yeah, they
Akira
actually
bike.
released before that one. They did another exclusive, which actually has stickers to make it more like the bike from Akira.
Oh,
It was this one,
jeez. Oh man,
and
I want
she's got like a
that.
helmet and everything. Yeah, this I was lucky to get.
That's the one I really really wanted because the first time I saw that I think it was Empire Toy Works actually and
Right,
you that I
yeah,
saw you guys had them and right away right after your video I went looking everywhere for it. It sold out everywhere because
yeah,
she
yeah.
pretty much sold out as soon as she came out because that's
Check on
awesome.
AliExpress, because only about I think a couple months ago there
Hmm.
was a seller that had this
Really,
in stock. Yeah, it was like, and the price wasn't too bad, compared to what it can be
what's the
sold
name of
for.
that again?
It's the forgotten now.
Well, I'll just take
Red
a
capybara or something.
I'll take a picture of it and then do a Google search. Somebody will have a picture of that.
Yeah, red
So,
capybara, I think it is something
but
like
I
that. I
even
can't
like the
recall.
fig. Does that figure come with the bike?
Yeah, comes with it. She has a helmet and
Oh
everything as well,
man,
and
I need to
a
get
gun
that
and stuff.
because
Yeah,
she
really
looks like
good.
a female version of Tetsuo. You know
Yeah,
what I
or
mean? And I
Kaneda.
actually, or Kaneda rather, yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
I always mix up their names, but because I actually just ordered a bunch of water slide decals with
Ooh.
with the stickers from the Akira
Oh, there
movie.
you go. That'll work
So
perfectly with
that's why I
this.
want to get that, so I can I can
Yeah, the
put the
reason I
stickers
haven't
on it.
stickered this up is because, stickers, right? So I thought, if we can get water
Well, that's
slide
why I don't like
decals
stickers.
instead.
I like
Yeah,
water
because they don't
slide
last.
decals. Yeah,
Yeah.
they always after like it gets hot or something, they start popping off, which is a
Yeah,
pain in the butt, right?
exactly.
Let's actually go back into here. And these guys, who are these guys? These guys are
So
cool.
yeah, they're from Omanga in the
Okay,
Acid Rain world, which is basically like they're quote unquote bad guys.
right.
And yeah, they've originally they had a different design, but Toys Alliance with Kit Lau, of course, redesigned the buck to be
Okay.
this, which is basically probably their best buck, which is the Abaddon Geist buck. So
Oh, okay.
all the figures now, or most of them anyway, that are kind of from that faction are utilizing this body, including this guy who we got recently. Again, well, Kalkus sent me him as well. By changing the head. It's
Nice.
basically a Kit Bash
Hmm.
exclusive of Gauntlet and Ratco, but I
Right.
put on the head from like one of the Strength of Ved
See, that's
spare
how you
heads.
also know you've made it, because now people are sending you toys. that's that's where I
Yeah,
want to
well,
get to one day.
Calcus have been a good partner
Hmm.
with actually sending me Acid Rain stuff, because I think they sent me some Joy Toy stuff, and things went well. And then they were
Right.
like, "What else would you like us to stock?" And this was before they did
Wow.
Acid Rain. I was like, "You should do Acid Rain. There's not enough people stocking Acid Rain. Do
Oh
it."
yeah,
And
it is
they
tough
started
to
stocking
find
them,
acid
and
rain.
they got the exclusives. So these exclusives are sold out
Right.
on Peer Club, and they sent me all three, and they're available at Calcus. And I've got
Nice.
like a code there you can use,
Yes,
Skellywagstv
I
dash
know.
Calcus, which is
So yeah,
and
guys, just remember if you want to order stuff from Calcus, use his code.
yeah, use
I'll
code.
actually,
They're off at the moment for Chinese New Year, but
yeah.
you can still order from them if you want stuff.
So
But yeah,
now's
good
probably the
partner.
time to go and find stuff, so that way you can
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of peruse for a while. You have like what a couple of weeks before they come back, so
yeah, exactly.
definitely go
Yeah,
and
this
check
one
that
here
stuff out.
was because they did a Maelstrom Trooper,
Right.
which I've got somewhere, and then this is like more in line with the more recent figures they've been releasing. Like the Donovan, it's got elements of this figure
Right.
and the BI Navigator, but in the marine colors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I
Damn.
got this guy actually is one I got recently, and it's been like a grail for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never got it when it first released, and it was so difficult to get. It was so expensive. But I
Right.
managed to find one on AliExpress, and when I kind of think of Acid Rain,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I think of
Yeah,
when I
that
when I
kind
think of
of,
Acid
yeah,
Rain.
same here, because it has, that's usually what the original ones kind of look like, was that
Yeah, that kind of
aesthetic.
steampunk sort of
Yeah.
look, and I mean the figure is
Steampunk
really.
military.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the joints are terrible because it was already toy, and yeah, it
Right.
feels really fragile. But it's one of those ones where usually I like posing my figures. This one's literally just going to stand there and not do anything because I feel it's going to break
You don't
if I
want to
just move it
snap
too much.
his hands and stuff.
Yeah, it's more
But
about kind of what it
that's
means to me.
insane. But yeah, these guys just look amazing. So is this
Oh
part like
yeah,
the
yeah.
same kind of thing, or?
This is the Bucks team. They're like the heroes really of
Oh,
Acid
okay.
Rain. With Bob, you might have heard of Bob from Acid
Yep.
Rain. He's the leader on the far right.
Yep.
But I loved this release because they had the helmets and masks, and you had all these little like bits that you could play with. The little
Mm-hmm.
all these little cool things that you can do to make it more playable.
Right.
The removable little um,
Like
little doodads
accessories
and
and
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
All those little. Or you could lose them, obviously, if you're not
Yeah.
careful. But
Especially if you have carpet.
it's yes, exactly. So you gotta be careful. But they look so cool.
Yeah. Like this guy is really cool. I love the
Yeah,
cannons
yeah,
on his back.
yeah.
So
Really good
cool.
figure.
But yeah, like
Mason, his name, BI.
the acid rain
Yeah,
figures
man.
do look really good. See, like her hands are so big.
I know, I
I
know.
can't unsee that. Like no matter, like she's such a good-looking figure, and then the hands just throw
That's
me
just
off.
huge. Yeah,
It's just, especially the open hand. Like, look how big that looks. She has
yeah.
man hands.
Well, at least you can kind of just say, well, she's an android, so you know,
Yeah,
let it
exactly.
be.
That's true. You can kind of get away with that with her.
Mm.
But the guy on the right, he looks really cool. He looks very
Yes, hero.
intimidating.
I loved his. I love his brain kind of
Yeah,
exposed brain design thing. I've
because
got
I
some of
got
him as well.
what was it? A Haya Toys RoboCop, and one of the RoboCops came with Kane's brain,
Oh right,
and that's what
awesome.
that kind of reminds me of.
Yeah, yeah.
Is Kane's brain? Like it's in a jar kind of thing.
Funny you mentioned Kane. I bought a Kane like ages ago. I
Yeah.
opened him up and look at him, but I thought, oh, I'll put him away and I'll do a video. And he's right
Hmm.
here, still in the box.
Nice.
I put him back.
He's one of my favorites. Like
Yeah,
his
he's a great figure.
articulation's really good,
Yeah, yeah.
and he could actually get taller too, based on the legs
How
how
you
they
do? Yeah, how
designed
you?
it. Really
Mm,
cool. I really love that figure. Now here's my one of my favorite lines too. Aside from the Corvus Belly, I
yeah.
love the turtle line. Like I said, I'm all in on this line. I
Hmm.
just really loved it. I really loved Splinter
Hmm.
or Shredder rather, not Splinter. Shredder. He just looks really cool, but he looks more
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
robot. He doesn't look
yeah.
like he's
Actually,
human.
yeah, I found that this design isn't an original design. When I was looking
No.
online about him, he's from the early 2000s. Is it
Yeah,
design
and I think in that series, I don't think this is the original human. Because I can't remember
Oh
where I
right.
read. I was reading somewhere where I think it might have been on Wikipedia where they were saying that Kang saved him by saving his brain, and
Oh
that
right.
could be they could be that this is where they got that idea from, where he's more like a cyborg or a robot than
Hmm.
anything else. So that's what my story is going to be, that he's a cyborg. So I'm going to
Right.
use that same Kane brain and make it that that's actually Shredder's brain that they're putting into this body.
Yeah, I mean, besides the legs kind of are a bit limited in terms of
Yeah,
movement
I was
going up.
disappointed with that.
Yeah, I had to look at it, and it uses the old T joint, the female T
Yes,
joint.
and it just
Yeah,
doesn't quite work because you can't
strange.
really
Yeah,
get
yeah.
them in a deep. You can't really get them into a deep pose.
If they used the old male joint, there was a longer kind of
Yeah, that would have
the
been
middle bit
better.
there, and it probably would have worked a bit better. But alas, he still works,
He
Can't really
this
get him
he
too
looks really
bad.
cool though.
Yeah, it's just kind of you want him to do more ninja stuff, but I mean the top bit here works really great.
Oh, so see, Stephen Murphy knows that it's from the 2000. It looks like the
There you
2003
go.
Shredder, so he knows.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was that was like well past my time of watching
Yeah, me
Teenage
too. Mine
Ninja
was like what
Turtles.
the late 80s, early 90s
Yeah,
Turtles.
that's the
Yeah, that's
ones
what.
that I
Yeah,
know. After that, the only
and the
stuff that I
movie.
know is and the movies exactly.
Yeah,
Aside from that, I don't know anything about the new Ninja Turtles at all.
yeah. Although I did watch. See, there's one on Netflix I watched in the UK with my kids, and that was actually pretty good. The animation and stuff, and it was
Yeah, I've seen a few
actually
of
pretty
the newer
nice.
ones, like episode here and there.
Yeah.
Mainly when I was trying to do research on the backstories, because like my Rocksteady and Bebop, they're not
Mm.
Rocksteady and Bebop, because I think part of that, I don't know if it's from the 2003 series, where the turtles, I think they time traveled or they're jumping through different dimensions, and one of the versions of the turtle team meets up with Rocksteady and Bebop and convinces them to, hey, you don't have to be bad guys,
Really.
and so they become kind of good guys. So in my story, one kind of becomes a bounty hunter, but he's still a good guy, and
Yeah.
the other Bebop becomes like a musician slash bodyguard for
All right. Yeah,
one of
because he's
my
got a guitar and
huts.
everything.
He's got the
Yeah.
guitar, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make him part of a band, but he works in a lounge where he's also a bodyguard for the hut that owns the lounge, right?
Ah, nice.
So I tried to incorporate that, and I also made that they're from Dimension X,
Hmm.
or but they somehow, because my station's a big giant Stargate that connects
Right.
to the entire universe. So different places, different Earths, versions of Earth characters can end up in my station and stuff like that. That's kind of how I can mix up my different IPs, is by using that whole Stargate type of thing.
Yeah, see, when I was doing the world building stuff, I had the similar kind of thing where literally every universe was kind of, could intermingle with each other.
Yeah,
That's how I wanted it to be.
exactly. That's what
I
I'm
can get
doing.
anyone from like, Halo, which is why I love this Master Chief figure, in there, along with your Space Marines or whatever you
Hmm.
want, Star Wars, Turtles, just
Is
have them
that the
all.
is that the Jazzwares
Yes, yeah, this is
Halo?
the one this is the one before the recent one released, the one with the
Yeah.
warthog. I customized them a bit and gave him a bit more weathering and stuff, and
Hmm.
I changed it because his articulation isn't great. Like the hands don't
Right.
bend that great. And I gave him one of the guns from Yujing, and I
Yep.
changed his upper body articulation so he can move a bit more.
See, I
So he's
told you
got
you're a
more
customizer,
range.
man.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I think very simple customs. If I can get
Well,
away with doing
that's
it with
how I
minimal
do it.
work, yeah, then
That's how I do it. It's
you
mainly
know,
kit bashing is what I do,
kit
right?
bashing
So
is exactly
with
that's
with
exactly.
some light painting. I'm not a big
Yeah,
fan of painting, but
yeah. So the thing with me is like, I actually painted when I was younger, but
that's
painting
like me.
figures is a totally different thing,
It's
right?
completely different,
Yeah,
especially me too, because I'm one of first of all, I can't see very well because legally I'm considered legally blind, but
yeah. I remember
for
you had
me,
everything okay now because I remember like we
I
were
still
speaking when
can't,
you were
like,
going
my
through
right
it.
eye will always be like bad. Like left eye I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see better now with my left eye, but in general, it's still very difficult. Like these are bifocal glasses, right? So I could
right.
see better. But then I also have goggles that I could wear over these, so I could, which are magnifiers, so I could see even better. So now I'm getting back into painting figures,
Yeah.
and I've been watching a lot of videos on how to paint, so I don't slap on the paint like I was doing before. Big thick paint where you start losing out the detail, and then like you get all that paint
Yeah, you got
rub
kind
and
of
stuff
thin
like
out and
that.
stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so
Yeah, I did the
now
same thing.
I've learned to be more patient and do more layers, and it's starting to work
Mm.
out for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But going back to these guys, here's the Hayatoy Snake Eyes that you were
Snake
talking about
Eyes.
earlier, and
Yeah,
you're saying
yeah.
that you weren't crazy about that one. So like, I'm kind of happy now
Yeah.
that I missed out on getting him.
Where is he? I think he's in a box somewhere. I've got the older one here for some reason. I think I was doing some comparisons with, but yeah, because his feet basically. You know how your feet are supposed to kind of go straight with your
Yeah,
knee. His go out a bit. So when you
yeah, I
start
don't get
posing him
that.
up, he looks really strange. This
Yeah.
guy doesn't have that problem. So yeah, I was just like, oh god, I just can't be asked posing him up.
What's the Storm Shadow like? I
I
never
didn't
got that
get the
one
Storm
either.
Shadow.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you
I
got
didn't get
him.
him.
Okay.
Yeah, so he looked all right though, but I don't know if he had the same problem as Snake Eyes.
He might
Um,
have. Who knows?
yeah,
Because
because it was
that's
that
the earlier
first run.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was like a while before they released anything else, right? So
And I know you collect stuff other than Acid Rain and Joy Toy and
I
all that
do.
stuff. So I see,
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
but I know you're probably very limited with what you get in terms of like Star Wars and stuff like that,
Yeah, I
right?
still get a few bits here and there. The reason it doesn't appear on my channel as much is it doesn't, because you get people obviously who just do Star Wars stuff,
Yeah,
and so
like
their stuff obviously.
Bounty, what's it? Boss Bounty mainly just
Yes,
does Star
exactly.
Wars and
Fellow
stuff
Brit.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm subscribed to him and watch his stuff all the time, and
Yep.
so their stuff, yeah,
Yeah, it's
doesn't do
focused
too well on my
mainly,
video.
and I don't even bother doing reviews anymore. Like every now and again, I might do a review, like a short little
Mm.
review. But then, because I know you're like out there, Boss Bounty's out there, I'm like, what's the point in me doing it when those guys are so much better? Like
No,
you
well,
guys are so
well,
much better at doing it than
you
I
can
am.
go from the perspective of your universe and how it fits
That's
in with your
true.
universe. I think because that's a different perspective.
I might
For me,
consider
it's
that.
just
Thank
literally
you.
just yeah, it's a good way to approach it because obviously you get the normal reviewers out there and they're doing their
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I got like this was one of the customs I did. I basically it was the what's the name again? The Vizsla, whatever lady. But basically the legs had the old like articulation. I hated it and it looked weird and strange. So
Yeah, I
what I did
really
is
don't like those.
so I kit bashed the top bit with what's the face, the wrestler chick.
Gina Carano.
No, the other one who was a Mandalorian. God, I can't remember her name.
Uh,
Anyway, her. I took her
okay.
legs,
Oh,
put
I
them on
know who you're talking
this.
about. The one who
Yeah, yeah.
played. Oh, shit, I know who you're talking about though.
Who played? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Played. God, my
I
mind's just gone
can't.
blank.
She played one of the other night owls, the only other female night owl.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
there
had the
was
little scuffle with Boba Fett
yes,
in
yes, yes. The one
was
is
it
like
season 1 or 2? I can't
I
remember.
think it was season two where she's
Yeah.
saying watch, and he goes watch your mouth,
Yes.
and they get into
Yes.
the fight. They cancel each other out with flamethrowers, which doesn't make
Exactly.
didn't make any sense to me, but it was still cool. But yeah,
But
I
yeah, so
remember. Yeah, that
I
figure.
really like the figure, and I just
Hmm.
didn't like how it articulated, so I just kit bashed the legs in and
Oh, that's a good
kind of
idea.
did took off bits from the knees and coloured
Hmm.
a bit there, and
Like
yeah,
the
it's
one thing I
more.
don't like about the female Star Wars figure, they're too
Mm.
small. They look more
Well,
like teenagers.
yeah, well, actually, the Star Wars line is actually true 118 scale. I know
Right.
they look a lot smaller, but they because the more modern figures are now like the standard is like 4 inches, and in the
Right.
real world it's like about 6 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
But when you start at that and kind of you make that as your base, then everything else gets bigger. Whereas with
That's
Star
true.
Wars, they're 3.75, and so relative to that, the females would be a bit smaller. But they
Right.
against like the more modern stuff, they absolutely look too
They're just
small.
way too
Um,
small, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I
But I do
love
like the height differences, and it's just the
that's
heads,
yeah,
so
I
it's
do I
it's all
do
weird.
enjoy that. I do enjoy that they have the different heights. That's one of the things too about Joy Toys. Some of their lines have different height characters and different
Yeah.
sizes. Like that zombie line with the
Oh yeah,
big
yeah. The
massive
big
dude.
guy. Yeah, I've
I've been
got him.
trying to find him because I want to turn him
Oh,
to
you don't
like a
have him,
kingpin. No, I actually don't
right?
have any of those zombie ones. Because at first I didn't like the blue stuff that they
Yeah,
use for
the
like the
little yeah.
guts. I
Hmm.
didn't like that, so I never ended up buying it. So I kind of waited, and now I see them on AliExpress for really cheap. So I might finally pull the trigger and get a few of those.
Yeah, what they need to do though is like just more different variations on body types,
Yes,
like
like
what
here's
Star
a
Wars
prime
do.
example. Like he actually showed an
Yeah,
example of it
exactly.
right here with the three different heights,
Yeah,
which is really
I
cool.
love that the difference in I like that boss fighter doing like I think a dwarf figures and stuff, right? So
Yes, I'm
we'll be
glad they're
looking
kind
forward
of
to seeing
like.
that.
I actually got a few of the more recent figures. I pre-ordered Red Sonja. She looks really cool, so
Yeah,
I
I'll get
got
her at
her.
some point.
Actually, I think I pre-ordered the dwarf, and then they also are coming out with like a big guy, like a thicker guy, which I
Ooh,
always wanted the orcs to look like that, but the orcs
yeah.
just look like regular guys, right? Ah, there we go. Sasha Banks, Ian
Sasha
Sweeney,
Banks,
Sasha
Cosca
Banks,
Reeves. Oh my
Cosca
god, I can't
Reeves.
believe it. Just
I
my
knew
mind's going.
somebody out there would know. Thank you so much, Ian. I appreciate that, brother.
Merci.
But I also here's some of the
Yeah, so
Halo figures.
these figures, the two in the front are actually customs from
Yes,
another from a guy on Instagram. I can't remember his name now. Joe Bun Customs or something like that.
right.
Yeah, and he sent me those a few years ago to go with my
Nice.
Master Chief,
They
and I
look
thought
they look
those
really
other Joy
cool.
figures look pretty good with them. So
That's the thing I like about Joy Toy figures. You can usually mix them in with just about any
Yeah,
IP. Like their military stuff, you can usually mix it in with different types of IPs, which is really cool. That's one of the things I really do enjoy about.
yeah. What I found with the line is that it really opened up my imagination in terms of
Yes, Shea
thinking of
Vizsla.
other
Sorry,
stories. Shavers, like the Shavers, that's the one.
that's the one.
Well
I
done,
saw. I
mate.
didn't
Well
mean to
done.
interrupt you. I just wanted to make sure we
Yeah, yeah,
put that
yeah.
out
I
there
totally forgot
because
her name. I know she was a Vizsla.
exactly,
Forgot her
exactly.
name.
But yeah, these characters. I mean, sorry, like I was saying, the Joy Toy figures do mix in well with different IPs, and that's
Mm.
one of the things I do appreciate about the Joy Toy figures. That's kind of why I mixed in that whole Flash Gordon thing because it actually works, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and
definitely.
I know nothing about the Corvus Belly tabletop game, so
Neither
for
do I.
me, they just look
Yeah.
cool, so I just got them, right?
I think I
So
watched some lore videos, but
yeah, same here.
yeah, I watched a couple, but yeah, it's really just I like putting my own storylines to them and
And
stuff.
that's my thing too. This
Yeah.
guy, I love this guy too. I have him,
Oh yeah, Phantom
and I
Kid.
also got the female one, the one that's in blue.
Yeah, yeah.
I got her as well. Really cool figures. And now I'm happy they finally got the upper thigh twist. They
Yes.
didn't have that for so long, but it looked
No.
like they did. Like when you looked at their figures, it looked like, oh, it looks like the upper thigh. Nope, doesn't turn because it was only when you look at it, it was just the design of the leg.
I want them
So
to do the rest of Defenders of the Earth. I want them
yes,
to do
why haven't they done
Mandrake,
that yet?
Lothar. I want them to do the kids, do all of them.
I wish they would. Maybe they couldn't get the license for all of those.
Yeah, true. Because it's what this is actually the Phantom license, and it's the Flash
Yeah,
Gordon license, opposed to
they're
Defenders.
kind of separate. Yeah, they're not really
Mm.
defenders of the earth. And I see you do collect other
I do
scales.
indeed. Yeah, I got this guy because of the amazing. I watched his video. I was like, oh god,
Yes, he's another one that I stopped watching him because him and there's
he's too
also
good. Yeah.
Jay Hernandez
Oh god,
was
yeah.
he was another
Those.
one that
Yeah,
used to make
same.
me always want to. Actually, I have two big bins of 112 scale figures, and I
Yeah.
don't know why I dove into that
Well,
scale.
exactly right. I mean, for me, it's like art, right? If it's a good action figure, I
Yeah.
consider it like a nice little. Like I got this recently because of those guys as well, which
Oop,
is
hold
just
on.
because I mean I don't even know the character very well. It's
Oh
Cabot
yeah,
Stone from
he looks
Rob
cool.
Liefeld.
Yep.
But just because he's got that '90s look that
Yep.
I grew up with, like in
Exactly,
comics.
The Jim Lee and the Rob
Yeah,
Liefeld
when you
style.
really
Yeah,
think about it though, like Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane's like designs, they weren't really as they don't really represent the '90s as much as Rob Liefeld, although he wasn't a good, well, he was an all right artist, but not as good as
I was about
those
to
two.
say
But his
I would say
designs were,
Jim Lee would be. I would consider him a '90s artist. Jim
yeah,
Lee
yeah. But I mean,
more
in
so
terms
than
of like
McFarlane.
Rob Liefeld's designs,
Oh yeah, they
like
were out
shout
there.
'90s, yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah, you're right.
this is
They
a
were
'90s
out there.
figure because of the design.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas Todd's Spawn could be anywhere
That's
really, and
true. Same with Jim Lee's. It's
yes,
more
exactly.
subtle.
Whereas
Yeah,
with Rob, it's like,
they
yeah,
weren't
that's '90s.
exaggerated like Rob
Yeah,
Liefeld. You're
he had
right.
like all these pouches and guns and stuff. It's like, okay,
And
that's the
massive
'90s.
guns, not just guns, but
Yeah, exactly.
massive guns that no one would be able to hold.
And
But yeah,
muscles and all
exactly,
sorts.
muscle and those massive muscles, and he couldn't draw hands. So
Feet. He had
his
trouble with
hands or
feet.
feet. His feet, yeah, his feet were always weird. But yeah, definitely. But so yeah, we're kind of winding down now. So that's kind of why I'm touching into this scale now because I do see that
Oh
there.
right, yeah,
It
yeah,
seems like you're very limited with the what you do purchase with the 112, but
yeah. So that
you
Batman
buy
I
the
still
good
got.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
like
a cool one.
I actually sold my my Mafex Wolverine because I
Hmm.
found I wasn't playing with it because of how expensive it got online. I was like, oh
Right,
god, I don't want to play with it. But I actually ended up getting the CT Toys one,
right.
and this is brilliant. I can just literally play with this and not worry about it. It's so cheap, and and I just play with it. Whereas the other one was just in the box, and it was
Yeah,
just like, oh, I don't want to do anything to that because it's so expensive, and if I break it, oh,
I
but
usually
this,
don't care. I just play with them anyways.
yeah.
If it breaks, it breaks. I'll figure out a way of customizing them and turning them into something else. But in general, I don't even care. I just if it breaks, it breaks. Because to
Uh,
me, they're priceless, right? So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The CT Toys though have done a good job in. I mean,
Hmm.
obviously they've nicked
Now
those
these guys are really
designs.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. So they're from what is it? What brand is
Are
it
these
again?
Mesco?
V Toys. So it's V
Oh, okay.
Toys.
Because I see a lot of
So they're like a
soft
third
goods.
party. Yeah, actually, I've got the Cyberpunk guy here, and it's such good figures in 112 scale. And he's got soft goods and jacket and
Hmm.
everything. This guy.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah, you can
like
take the jacket
that.
off, and he just looks so cool. He comes with a little drone thing as well. But
That
yeah,
is
this was like I
cool.
think the first kind of soft goods like figure I bought. I just thought, I got to have him.
So
He looks so
the only
cool.
one I actually have is the Mezco blade.
Oh right, yeah, I've got. See, I had a few Mezcos and I sold them because I was like, yeah,
Yeah, it's the
they're too
only
expensive and
Mezco
stuff.
figure I have, and the only reason why I got him because I love this trench coat, and I
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
because I swap out his trench coat and I put him on other figures. I was putting it on like
that
Punisher,
one is a
on
very
my
popular
Nick
figure.
Fury. Yeah,
Mm.
he's a really good one.
I
But now
did
I
keep.
actually use his accessories on some of my 118 scale figures. So
Yeah, I kept them because these ones I just love, and I love like how this guy looks, Bishop.
oh yeah,
Yeah, the design of him, I just because it's not based on anything, but I think it looked really kind of
looks really cool.
yeah, and I liked his, just and how he poses is
It kind of looks like
not the best, but
it kind of looks like a cross between the movie and the cartoon.
yes, yeah, exactly. And
Really
I've got
cool.
Doctor Doom as well, but besides that, yeah, the others are kind of got rid of. Well, I've got
Yeah, most of
that
my
Trick
112
13
stuff,
as
I
well.
usually trade with people to get 118 stuff like vehicles
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I don't mind having them. I still have, like I said, a big bin full of them. I still enjoy some of them. That's
Mm.
the end of the slides. So, but yeah, definitely it was a whole lot of fun talking to you, brother. It's like totally enjoyed this. It was
Yeah, that's
exactly
gone
how
by
I
very
expected
quickly.
it. I totally expected it to go down this way, and I had so much fun just chit chatting. There's an awesome 118, the Phantom helicopter. What? I did
Phantom
not know that.
Skullcopter. Where'd you get that from?
I
It's a
gotta look
clear
that up.
skull as its main window.
Huh. I
Who
did
does
not
that?
know that. Who makes
Is
that,
it boss
Ian?
fight?
No, Boss Fight doesn't. I don't think they make any vehicles. The closest thing they have
Oh
to
yeah.
vehicles are the steeds.
Right, yeah, true.
That's it. But Ian,
Oh,
you're
I
gonna
wonder
have
how
to
it would
let it.
be.
Oh wait, he's letting us know here. Let's see here.
Because I got the Robo Skull, Defenders of the Earth toy line.
I did not know there was a toy line in 118 scale.
Neither did I. Oh, vintage.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to look at that.
I'll have to
See if
go and
it's
see what I can find in
yeah.
terms of that now, because now he's piqued my interest. I want that helicopter. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I wonder how
man,
big it is.
it was such a pleasure chit chatting with you today, my friend. Like again,
Yeah, you too, mate.
to me, like I said, I feel like I'm fanboying because I only been watching you online since you started out like about 4 or 5 years ago,
Yeah, yeah.
and like, it's just awesome to see your stuff. Awesome to see how much you've grown as a channel, and I really do appreciate what you do. Because I do end up making a lot of my decisions based on what reviewers say, but mainly the ones that I trust. So you're
Mm,
one of the ones that I trust. You and Adam as well. He's another one. I haven't been watching him as much lately. I
mm.
haven't been watching as much videos because I've been trying to work on my own stuff lately.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It
yeah,
gets like
it's
that
just
sometimes, yeah. You get
you know
caught up in
keep up your
doing your thing.
stuff, keep doing
Thank
your
you.
thing, and I hope you start diving into world building. Hope you'll be able to find some
Yeah, I
time
hope
to get
so.
into
Yeah.
that kind of stuff because I
Definitely would
really
like
do
to carry
appreciate
on with that
that.
sort of stuff I started back in the day. So hopefully
Yeah.
I'll get some time to
You'll
be able
you'll
to.
you'll find the time once your kids get older and you have a little bit more free time on your hands. Because like right now they're at the age where you want to spend time with them. You know, you want to play with
Yes.
them and stuff like that. As they start to get older and they don't want to spend time with you as much, that's when you're gonna find, oh, okay,
Oh,
you know
it's
what?
gonna
Let
be a
me
sad
play.
day when that happens.
You have a long time before that happens, my friend. So enjoy these days as you have them, and it seems like you're going about it the right way. So I really do hope you have a lot of fun with that. Plus, you're into toys, so they're gonna stick
Yeah,
around
I
for
play
a
with them a
while.
lot with my toys. My son just choice nicks like there's a Warhammer figure that should be here, but he's nicked it from me because I asked if I could borrow it. He's like, no, he's got it by his side in his
It's
bed.
mine now.
Yeah,
Which is
so
good.
it's gone.
That's a good thing. So that's awesome to see. But anyways, folks, we've reached
Nice one, mate.
we actually over an hour. So thank you so much, Skelly, for being on here. So you'll find his
Thanks for having me.
information in the description below. If it's not there, it'll be updated after this video gets posted. And I hope you guys hit that like button if you haven't done so. And I really hope you do that because this also was an awesome show. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel and go check out Skelly on both Instagram and on YouTube. You're not going to be disappointed. If you want to learn about 118 scale toys, he's your man. And he
Come on
also
over,
has
have fun.
discounts. He has
Yeah,
discounts.
check my affiliates, all
So
that
use
stuff.
his affiliates and you'll actually save on some Acid Rain figures and all that awesome stuff. So, Mr. Lord of Thane, thank you very much. We do appreciate that, and we appreciate you. Thank you for coming out. And
Thank
to
you
everyone else
guys.
that was able to make it live, thank you so much for being here. And for those that are watching the replay, thank you. We appreciate you as well. And to everyone else, till the next video, which is tomorrow at 5 Eastern, we have Whip Wednesday Live. We're back at it. Hope to see you guys there. And Skelly, you have a good evening, my friend.
You too, pirates. See you later, or scale you later.
Take care, pirates.